Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar with Weyo. I'm Zoe, I'm one of the campaign managers here at Birchal. And just before I introduce your presenters today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land Birchal is based on, which is the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. And we pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. These webinars are a fantastic opportunity to learn so much more about the incredible businesses on the platform and hear directly from the founders. And today I'm here with Harriet and Baz from Weyo. And obviously you knew that because you've joined to hear from them today. In today's session, I'm not going to, Harriet and Baz, are going to take us through a presentation, which will be approximately 15 to 20 minutes, all about the company, where they've come from, what they're looking to do with this capital raise, and then we'll head over to the Q&A. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little Q&A box in Zoom. Really encourage you to put your questions through there and also upvote any that you would like me to prioritize and ask the founders. If you need to jump off today, then a recording will be available as well. And you'll be able to have access to that on Birchal's YouTube, but also the company profile for Weyo. Just very quickly, just want to touch on Birchal's role. Birchal allows people to invest in early stage companies like never before. Investors purchase ordinary shares in Australian small businesses and startups and should consider their investment as a medium to long-term investment. As the crowdsource funding platform, we act as the gatekeeper to ensure the investment offers that we host are compliant with ASIC laws. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Baz and Harriet for their presentation.
Thanks, Zoe. Can you hear me?
Yes, all good.
Great, wonderful. Hi, I'm Baz Palmer. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Weyo. Thank you to everyone who's turned up today. We really appreciate it, especially on this crazy long weekend in Victoria. Weyo is all about building brighter futures for our kids and our company, and hopefully we can do it with you. Today, I'm going to be running through some key talking points, and then it'll be over to you for questions. I won't stay here on this slide. We're going to get there anyway. Okay, well, first of all, I trained as a secondary school English teacher back in the day, but spent most of my adult life recording and touring as the guitarist of Hunters and Collectors, pursuing the holy grail of creative excellence. Now I'm bringing together all of my passions, education, technology, and creativity to build Weyo. With me is my daughter, Harriet. Harriet, over to you.
Hi, I'm the person who the kids see when they jump onto the screen, onto the Phonics with Friends Island. I'm a preschool teacher with more than a decade of experience in the classroom with kids. I'm also currently completing my Masters of Child Play Therapy.
Yeah, well, there's also a few other members of our team. Wonderful Stuart Berwick, who's based in Los Angeles. Stu is the head of product. He's also in charge of brand relationships in America. We've got Jody Cousins, that's daughter, and my wonderful wife, Jody, who's also psychology background, play therapist. She's also online, and poor old Phil, our head of production, was going to be here, but right now he's in hospital, which is not good. Well, get well, Phil. Our extended team, you can see them all on the bottom. None of them are here. They include a myriad of expert contractors that are brought on board when their skills are needed, and their skills are many, let me tell you. Okay, so let me tell you the story of how this all began. Wind back the clock to 2017, and Stuart, had been working together on an advanced video technology platform for like a whole 5 years. During that time, where there was an explosion in the number of devices owned by kids under 5. As a parent, I became increasingly aware and concerned with the low quality content of kids' apps and the passive consumption user behavior model. Despite all the amazing advances in technology, what we weren't seeing was any change of that in the kids space. They were still being delivered content like they had been on TV for the last 70 years. So Stu and I started looking around for new technologies in our industry sector that went beyond passive viewing, beyond tapping and swiping, something that would actually allow kids to join in the action on the screen for genuine agency in the digital world. Turns out there was nothing out there. As I said, this was way back in 2017. So without a ready-made solution, we built our own, one that brings kids onto the screen and includes the magic of augmented reality. It was a world first, and it became the basis of our US patent. We took our wonderful prototype to the Wiggles, good friends of mine, and they loved it. 1 year later, boom, we launched and we topped the charts. We got a stack of awards, industry accolades, and caught the eye of Apple, Sesame Street, and almost every major kids brand around the planet who appreciated the power of what we had built. Speaking of Sesame Street, it was our collaboration with them that set the foundations of Weyo's kid reading and learning. Their guiding principles of learn through play and emphasis on essential human skills like communication and collaboration were inspiring. Harry and Jody, with their hands-on experience in early childhood and primary education, brought evidence-based teaching and play therapy practices into the mix, emphasizing the critical role that foundation literacy skills play in a child's educational journey. And phonics is the gateway skill, which brings us to the big problem that we are trying to solve.
The 2023 NAPLAN results cast a damning spotlight in the inequities that persist across Australia's education system. They also highlight the problems across the broader mainstream school community, and with 1 in 10 students in 2023 in dire need of help and struggling with even the basic fundamental tasks.
The Australian government, understanding the severity of the problem, has followed the UK's lead and allocated additional resources for teachers and parents to help better understand a year 1 students' phonic capacities, recognising that, again, phonics is the gateway skill to education. But Weyo Kids Reading and Learning is much more than just a phonics program. Harriet, again, you.
During lockdown, there were many, many times that I had to teach my class online. I would sit up in the hallway of our home, turn my camera on, and 20 little kids would pop online and join in on the screen and in the action. We played active games, told stories, and sung songs, and numbers and phonics were blended into the activities too. It was truly a learn through play model. For the kids, it was the highlight of their day, and for me as well. The power of online learning was immediately obvious, and with the importance of the human connection, which is why Weyo set itself apart from all other kids' apps by bringing the teachers onto the screen with the children joining in, as I did during COVID.
So our app is a holistic approach to a child's early learning journey. Weyo, at its core, recognises the importance of human education in educating our kids. In this era of AI, machine learning and robotics, our humanity will certainly be one of our most essential skills. Check out.
This is our friend, Rocker the Quokka. Rocker Recap! The little A looks like that.
Oh, so good to see you at last.
Or iguana. Just like shooting stars. Look at the bubble. Pop. Little ducks. Weyo.
There you go. There's a little bit of a, bit of look at Weyo and all the different islands we have and all the kind of activities kids do. As I said, this is very much a holistic approach to all the child's educational needs. Okay. What about growth? Well, our apps combined to hit the #1 spot in 57 countries. And we've captured 12 app of the days and literally hundreds and hundreds of features across the App Store. Weyo Kids Reading and Learning was introduced into the market at the end of 2023. We ironed out some bugs, some onboarding issues and monetization funnel before doing a trial marketing campaign between July and September to really test the product with kids and understand our customers, namely the parents who pull out money from their wallet and pay for the app. On both fronts, we were pretty excited. Our confidence to ultimately deliver and scale is buoyed by our product market fit that we saw during this trial period. Average time spent in the app increased to an average of 32 minutes a day, putting us in the top 75th percentile of our vertical. These are all numbers from Apple Connect. We entered the top 50 to 75th percentile of proceeds per paying customer. We increased retention month on month, reaching the top 25% for our vertical. And all of this is why we are confident we can achieve 5,000 paying subscribers in our first year. Now, Weyo monetizes via paid subscriptions on our customers at the App Store. Subscription pricing is low at the moment. It's $54.99 yearly and $8.99 monthly, which is about 50 to 75% lower than our competitors while we establish our brand. According to iMark, the leading industry data analyst, the total addressable market, that's the online education market, is $100 billion by 2025. Of course, our immediate focus is on the Australian serviceable, attainable market. Right now, our subs are skewed 60% annual to 40% monthly. Our LTV is, a very comfortable one right now when we're marketing. I'm just mindful of what Zoe said about there's certain numbers I've got to stay away from here. So look, we're very, very confident we can actually be profitable within the first 1 year of going to market and marketing properly. I'll have to actually come back to this again with you, Zoe. Sorry. Okay, Harriet.
Our partnerships with Apple also continue to drive our adoption. While Weyo has always had their visible support, Weyo Kids Reading and Learning has captured the attention in Australia more than any of our other apps. And Dad should have got me on board a little earlier.
I know you keep telling me that. Okay, so apart from Apple, it's not just Apple that recognises the scale of what we're undertaking. Every year that goes by, Weyo is recognised by our peers and the industry. 2023 might just be our best year yet. Our technology is making its mark in the EdTech space. We were the only kids app that made the list of honorees of Fast Company's World Changing Ideas Awards. We hit the top 200 EdTech companies in the world from GSV. And we also just the other week copped a wonderful award for our technology from where are they? They're over the other side. I can't see the slide. Oh, there we go. Hold on, IQ. Okay, my notes. Okay. Now, the really important part, what we do with your investment. Well, it's all about growth, isn't it? That's what we want to do here. We will hire a community manager who will work to build brand loyalty within the online parent and education communities. We'll also release an Android app to obtain total market coverage. On the content side, we aim to accelerate our curriculum and to continue to increase diversity of our on-screen presenters and as well bring added functionalities to support diverse physical abilities. We're also in talks to bring other major brands beyond Mattel and MMM to the app. We'll continue to identify the highest value opportunities, address ours and the market's most critical challenges, and transform our business to respond to those needs. 2 key opportunities we've identified going forward are 1, localizing our content with multilingual content, and 2, aging up our curriculum. Why crowdfunding? Well, our crowdfunder is more than just a fundraiser. It's an invitation to join a community committed to solving the literacy challenge. Each contribution is a step towards building a community dedicated to changing lives through the power of education. We'd love you to come on board. Weyo, that's us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very slick presentation. Thank you. I've just given everyone a reminder to put their questions in that Q&A box again, but while we're waiting for some people to come through, I'll ask you a few questions that I've thought of on the side, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I know you were talking about wanting to bring your community into the company when you're talking about crowdsource funding. How do you plan on bringing your investors more into the decision-making or, having a collaborative part of the business if they're interested and are willing to?
Great question. So I think, we've got an investor base already, and over the years, they'd probably tell you that I'm probably one of the most approachable and communicable founders they've ever worked with across their other investments. I'm kind of like, to my own detriment, I think. I'm pretty much available all the time. I think that I always use the example, there's smarter people in the room than me, and so I'm always looking to other people, what they can bring, what they can offer. Many a cup of coffee has been had with my current investors, and some brilliant ideas have hit the ground running. So, you know, I mean, you can't have a cup of coffee with everybody, but you can surely get online, have a call, and, you know, just also hear like I think the people who invest in something that's essentially like it's a business model too. We want to grow a company as a financial concern, but impact is a big part of this. So people who come to Weyo actually really care about it. I'm really fortunate that of our existing investor base, 80% of the people have come in on every round. So that says a lot.
Awesome, thank you. Will you be offering rewards to your investors if they decide to invest through Birchal?
We sure will. There's one little award we're working on right now. I don't want to promise it in case we can't pull it off, but it's a pretty spectacular one. It's a beauty. We'll hopefully know in another day or two. But we've always thought of Rocker the Quokka as the greatest potential plushie in the world. Like, so we're trying to find a supplier now who could make us a gorgeous Rocker the Quokka, and I think we've got one. So that'd be one reward that we think would be really important. The other one is, look, you know, I mean, my background as a musician. So this is not about ego here, but as a musician, and there's a lot of fans of hunters out there, you know, I'm certainly up for catching up for a meal, one-on-one, talking about Weyo, like, you know, and just enjoying the other person's input and their perspective on what we're doing, and maybe even talk about a little rock and roll history. You know, so that's also one. Look, there's a few other things we're working on. Rest assured that I think as by the end of this week, we'll have a pretty good package of things that we can offer people.
All right, but we'll be revealing everything when the offer goes live on Birchal.
Absolutely.
Just, you know, Baz, because you're saying you're so accessible, do you have anywhere on your slides that allows people to contact you? If you don't, it's all good. Everyone, there's a send message button that's available through Birchal as well, so you can get in contact with the team through there. The most important thing is that you make an expression of interest so that you can get in touch with the team and have an opportunity to talk about your interest in the investment before the offer goes live. But you're also able to talk about it when the offer goes live too. I'm
very easy to find. It's just baz@weyo.app. So there I am for the world.
Easy. Cool. All right. Well, we'll jump into the questions. Jenny, how to invest? I can answer that one. So Jenny, currently we are in the expression of interest period, which means that we're running a campaign right now to see how many people are interested in investing and also how much they would like to indicate they would like to invest. That wasn't proper English, but I hope you know what I mean. So yeah, we're currently in the expression of interest stage. It really helps us gather data around setting the terms of the offer. So we set a minimum target and a maximum target for what can be raised with the campaign. We also, you know, set a share price and evaluation, which is all going to be available when we open up the offer to investors. One of the best things that you can do right now, I would say, is make an expression of interest so that you're kept up to date and get communications about when you can make an investment. And when it comes to the time where you want to put your money into this business, it's similar to like a shopping checkout. So Birchal will ask you for a series of information about yourself. We'll ask for some identity, and we'll also just make sure that you understand our risk warning and have read through the offer document, because that includes really important details about the kind of investment you're making. So I really hope that helps. We've got a lot of help articles and information online as well. And yeah, of course, you're able to contact Birchal at any time if you have any questions. This one's from Jackie. Jackie has said, "Hi, Baz and Harriet. My 4-year-old daughter loves Weyo and she is using it to learn letters/phonics. Can you tell me what is next for Weyo?"
So next we're hoping to move on to digraphs and letter blends. So we'll be building out the rest of the phonics program. And then we also have our eyes on maybe doing some potential first readers as well for children, and working on letter writing as well.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Jackie. Great to have your support.
Once again, everyone, if you have any questions, please send them through, but I'll keep asking mine that we have on the side. So Jackie's asked, what's next for Weyo? Do you plan on making any new products or further apps, or is Weyo the focus for just now?
Look, if you wind the clock really forward, I mean, you'd love to be able to age up the app as we go through, and that would actually mean a different looking app. It would be we'd build on the same core technology. I mean, one of the things I should have said before is when we build Android, our engine, the actual video engine, the patented part of Weyo, is cross-platform. So we're only really building the front end. So, building that part of the app we've spent so much money building the engine. That's technology has been really hard to build. And now it's anything else we build on top of that becomes easier and easier, and we can actually deliver it in a lot lower time. I think Duolingo is an example of someone that aged down. I think they started as an adult app and came down to the kids. I mean, we can easily grow with our audience, come up, 1 year old, year 1, year 2, year 3. So that'd be something I'd love to do. And as I said earlier on, I think, becoming multilingual. Also, one of the things we want to do is start. Phonics is really, it's the English language, but nevertheless, there are nuances in other countries around the world. So we'd love to be able to, if you have more American presenters, we've got Austin right now, but have UK presenters too. So people get to hear, their native version of their dialect. So that'd be really important for us too. But essentially one product for quite some time.
Cool. Do you expect to have any issues or, around IP or defensibility of the product?
Yeah. So one of the things, like with the IP, I think the IP we've created is pretty, I mean, I love it. I just love this kind of beautiful environment we've created. And we spend a lot of time and money getting that right. We wanted something that was almost tactile. Again, this whole thing about trying to change the digital landscape so it felt more human. Like defensibility around the actual IP of the technology, the interactive video engine and AR. That's been in the market now for some years. And, our peers, we talk to people from Sego Mini, we talk to people from other leading platforms, and they see us as the shining example. They don't want to build that. They'd like to license it, so no one's out there trying to chase that IP right now. No one's even got close. I mean, the thing that people need to remember is that we're doing this all on the mobile device, and in the kids market in particular, the securities and privacy concerns around that are phenomenal. Working with Apple, they're one of the most stringent platforms you could come across that in terms of actually protecting children and their privacy and, the actual quality of the content. So, I think that we'll keep on leading the way and others will keep following. I'm confident. As for the IP, the actual content, what it looks like and anybody who goes down that road, I mean, Rocker the Quokka, how many Rocker the Quokkas are there? Can there be? Only one. We're very distinctly Australian. And I think that, let's keep it that way. I think we're protected. We're okay.
All right, good. You got some good lawyers.
Got great lawyers. And look, so it probably goes without saying, I've spent a lifetime in content creation and IP protection. I mean, that's my gig when it comes down to it. And I know more than anybody. In fact, that was one of the things that allowed Weyo to be able to do these incredible deals. So when we walked in the room, we knew how important a brand's IP was to them and how protective they were of it. So when we started having conversations with the likes of the Wiggles, Sesame, Moonbug, Mattel, you name it, we were able to talk their language from day one. We were able to say, we understand you have all kinds of protective mechanisms around your IP. You also expect us to actually represent your brand at every single point of every I dotted, every T crossed. So, my experience, and Stuart's too, by the way, Stewie has a long history Stewie was a marketer for a major international label, and he managed all kinds of artists and all kinds of IP. So we've both got a long history. We have an incredible context within the industry. I could say without, being a bullhead, but when we knock on the door of Universal or any major company in the world, we get to meet, the people at the top. It's fantastic. We don't need to claw our way through the ranks. So right now, there's a lot of fantastic conversations going on in the background around future collaborators too. There's one particular very, very well-known Australian brand that we're just dying to get over the line. So we'll see, fingers crossed. That'll be fantastic. We'll get it.
Yeah, well, everyone will have to stay posted for another email about that.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, you got to be.
Um,
NDAs are really powerful things, aren't they? You got to be careful.
Yeah, I love to touch more on about and I've got a few more questions to get through, but I'd love to touch more on also just some of the cybersecurity measures you have in place as well, because, you know, there, as you mentioned, there is that extra layer of children's safety. Are you able to dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so COPPA compliance, and there's a whole lot of things to protect children, thankfully, and that over time that whole particular field has become far more stringent again around those regulatory the regulations. And so what we did right from the outset, and again, this was actually tied up to content protection and the IP, controlling our IP, is that we decided to create every single piece of technology on the device. So when you load Weyo, you're loading the engine into the device, and everything the child creates is only saved to the camera roll, directly to the user's camera roll, which is brands have been able to, but why they actually collaborate with us. And so that was a feat of no small measure. I mean, the idea that you're running a video in real time, you're opening up the camera, bringing the child in, you're applying AR filters on top, you've got the audio playing, you've got touchscreen happening, you've got all these things all happening at once. That's been, in fact, you know what, we've been optimizing that over a period of 5 years. We've had now 5 years of really solid R&D. It's in the investor video. We've had incredible support from the Australian and Victorian governments on that. We keep on being recognised for our innovation. So, and that innovation is just tied intrinsically to children's privacy and security.
Cool, thank you. Peter has asked, if you're, up and running and profitable as we speak, why are you looking for more investors and investments?
Okay, so we need more investors to actually grow the business. So Weyo, the kids reading and learning app, that right now is sitting in a very, it's a solid market, and you really need to be able to continue putting money into the marketing of it, right? And the way we want to do that is very much around earned content we own ourselves. So rather than just going to the App Store and throwing $1 million at Apple, which is really easy to do, or to Google, we want to have a community manager who starts building our brand, starts building loyalty online on all the social channels, speaking to parents, speaking to teachers, speaking to the community. That doesn't come without a cost. And when you're a small app in the nascent stages of your life, establishing a foothold in a really competitive market takes time and money. So that's what we're raising capital for. We don't have the kind of revenues yet. So our marketing was a 3-month thing where we really dived in deep to find out more about our customer and more about how to actually convert them to paying subscribers. But we need to do more right now to continue that journey. That 3 months trial, we need to build on that now and establish Weyo for once and for all.
Cool. And Peter, if you'd like to learn more about that, or understand a bit more about the use of funds, that information will be available in the offer document when the offer goes live, next week. And totally lost my train of thought. What else was I going to say? Oh, and you can of course contact us, which is baz@weyo.com.
Yeah.
No, .app.
Oops.
Yeah. I can take this next one from Daniel, which is asking, when is the return on investment for investors? So it's a good question, Daniel. We've got a lot of information on the Birchal website about this, because buying shares through Birchal is a little bit different from what people traditionally know, which is buying shares through maybe the ASX or just different forms or platforms where you can sell off your shares quite easily. When you're making an investment through Birchal, you're buying fully owned shares in either a private or public unlisted company, Australian company rather. And shares are considered illiquid. So that means you can't sell them off easily, and you should consider these as medium to long-term investments. But the return on investment that you could possibly get through your investment is maybe a trade purchase of the company, an acquisition, the company maybe eventually listing or making an IPO, or even doing a share buyback from the company. Another very easy and possible way that you could receive a return on your investment is by having profits return to investors eventually. But because these are pretty early stage companies that are growing, a lot of them may choose to reinvest their dividends and profits back into the growth of the company. So it's really important you do research and learn a bit more about what kind of shares you're purchasing here. But, you know, if this app was to be bought out, or, you know, to have a major acquisition, shareholders would benefit for being early investors, and obviously the value of the company being far more than it is today in that aspect. So I hope that helps answer your question. In my chat also that I posted when we started the webinar, I linked to a help article that Birchal has. So I'll just paste it there for you while we're here, if I can. Sorry, all taking 1 second to just paste that article here. If you have any more questions, keep sending them through. I'll ask a couple of more questions and then we might wrap this up. You know, I have a feeling that a lot of people might be off work today because tomorrow is that public holiday. As you mentioned, Baz.
Yeah.
One other question that I thought would be interesting, and maybe a lot of people would want to know, is how do you plan to communicate with your investors along the way?
Yes, we do. We already do regular shareholders updates where we send out very, very detailed analysis of the company, where it is right now and where it's going and what we're spending our money on. And, you know, all the other, well, there's obviously, usually there's lots of good news in there about more achievements the company's had. Yes, that's how we just update by email all the time, you know, and as I said, I'm very approachable and very reachable. So we've got quite a few solid investors that come regularly to me, want to know, you know, the ins and outs, the granular details.
Cool. And Josh has asked, how do you have confidence you can raise in a crowdfunder?
How confident are we? Super confident. I think we've got a fantastic product. I think that, you know, the team's been tested, the technology's been tested. So I think it should be obvious to anyone right now that, you know, us working with major brands is not a problem. Our access to, like, let's face it, the #1 technology platform in the world, Apple, we have their, you know, we certainly have their support. We're going to continue having visibility on that platform. Like, one of the other things we didn't get to today is, like, we've just recently created a new share play functionality that allows people to connect just on a FaceTime call and play Weyo with both cameras operating, people becoming, you know, on screen with their child or their grandchildren, whatever the case may be. We built that with a lot of assistance from Apple because no one else was able to kind of crack the nut on how that technology works. So look, you know, as I said, there's social proof happening all the time. There's industry proof out there happening all the time. Our industry partners are willing to support us. I think, you know, when we talk to people about what we're trying to achieve now with Weyo in terms of, like, you know, our impact mission, recently we had a really fantastic, exciting conversation with the Gates Foundation in the US and talking to them about what they're doing at a kindergarten level and the kind of things that perhaps we can be doing with them on the digital side. I think those conversations are going to continue. I think, you know, we all know that digital is digital is now and digital is the future. And if, you know, if you're not part of that, then I don't know really what you're doing. So I don't think the need for our technology is going to go away. I think it's going to become more and more profound on a daily basis. What people need to do right now is, and the onus is on us as technical providers, is actually to deliver quality products into the hands of kids, parents, whatever the case may be in this particular market. And we're seeing the shortfalls of the education market right now. And we already know that there's incredible teachers out there, extremely dedicated people such as Harriet, doing their absolute damnedest to get kids over the line on their essential skills. But ultimately, it's going to need more. We need to be able to access kids, you know, like, so around their digital world. I kind of think of Weyo as, you know, a lot of people think about screen time being the problem. I think inside the problem lies the solution in this particular case. Kids are on screens. Kids are loving screen time, just as, like, let's face it, all of us, like, without our screens, we all love our screen time. As adults, we are able to extract value from it. We can point ourselves in the direction that we want to be able to extract value. I think for us now as parents, we've got to be able to point our kids into that same direction and give them value. Someone's got to provide the value. Someone's got to build it. That's Weyo's job. So that's why I think we can get the crowdfunding community behind us and support this particular venture. I think it's good for a whole lot of people out there, especially our children.
Cool. Thank you, Beth. All right. Well, might wrap it up there. Did you want to make any final remarks if we just close off the webinar and I give everyone some final information?
Yeah. Well, for me, yeah, okay. I mean, I suppose, like, it's funny, you run through slides. I talk about Weyo every single minute of my life, and you get up there and you do a pitch deck. And I think, I want to remind everybody that the pitch deck is just like, that's a dot point of what we're doing. This is a dedicated team that get up every single day, connect around the world. And we come to this every single day and just try to do our absolute best to actually make a difference. So if I want to leave anybody with kind of really lasting thoughts, is that what you're seeing now is the tip of the iceberg. And I genuinely believe this is only the beginning. We need those funds to be able to continue building, continue to reaching out to the community, to continue to support children, and hopefully over time work with teachers one-on-one, bringing this into schools. So yeah, that's the reality of Weyo.
Yeah, I think it's also good to just mention that, it's great to pass on your connections and share this with your network, especially if you do have a network of teachers and educators. And of course, they can get in touch with Baz and Harriet as well. Harriet, would you like to say anything?
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you can join our mission.
Can I just say one thing about Harriet? This is Harriet's, like, you talk about the person, with wearing many hats. So Harriet presents the content. Harriet writes the content. We have our own studio where Harriet films herself with the content. Harriet also markets the content. Again, and then this points to the dedication of our team. We're a really small team who work really well together, and we're 100% committed to making Weyo the #1 go-to source for children and phonics early learning. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for such an insightful presentation and for that Q&A session. As mentioned earlier, everyone, the recording of this video will be sent around to everyone who has made an expression of interest. So hopefully, if you haven't attended today, you're watching it now. Hello and thank you. The expression of interest campaign will be live for about another week. So please, if you haven't already, make sure you jump into the Birchal platform and put in your EOI. You'll be the first to find out when the offer goes live and what you can do to invest. You'll receive investor rewards, but also you can be an early investor, which means that there's a few extra perks in place for you to come in early. So yeah, you also receive communications and just receive all the up-to-date information. And yeah, without further ado, thank you. And we'll be sending out more info as we go along.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Zoe.
Bye.